The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, where dreams come true when we come together, share a drink, and decompress from a brutal week. Okay, so you gotta start somewhere. And speaking of dreams, have you ever had a recurring dream? A really weird one? A particularly bad nightmare? Do you not remember your dreams at all? We're going to be talking about that and much more. So share your dreams in the chat, along with what you're sipping on, and we'll get started right after I set the mood a little bit.
Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salud. Welcome. Go. Yeah, we're going to be talking about dreams a little bit tonight. And just in case you hadn't guessed what I'm sipping on, you probably already know.
Dry martini.
Oui, monsieur.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lily. Shake it over rice and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about the echo there, guys. I got that squared away now. My apologies. Yeah, it's a strong one. Although I did go a little bit vermouth heavy, so it's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. Kind of like it.
That's why you married me.
That is why I married you. The sweetness. I'm gonna start out by saying hi to the early birds here. So starting out with Tim. He was here, many hours early. But sure enough, Lady Myst was about 4 minutes behind him. Welcome to you too, my dear. I super appreciate the flowers. And Curtis Selby, saying hi to everyone. Thanks so much for being here. So Lady Myst said, never had a nightmare. No, lucky you. And can change the storyline mid-dream if it gets boring or something I don't like. I have been able to do this since childhood. My family thinks I'm strange. It's actually pretty common. It's called lucid dreaming. And we are going to talk about that a little bit tonight, I am sure. Let's see here. So it's, yes, let's not say it's normal. Let's say it's common. Think you're a nut about. Now, I'm not saying you're not crazy. I'm just saying that this is not an indicator of it. Welcome, MrLondellsGroovyMovies. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. And of course, Bird Woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. Welcome. Oh, I've just finished off my Gordons from the James Bond taste test. I don't think I'm going to get another bottle of Gordon's. I think I'll switch to... I do love London Dry. That's a good one, but I may try some others too. Might see what's out there. See if there's an Italian gin out there. Let's see. And guys saying hi to each other. Super appreciate seeing that. Oh, my buddy, my friend, Curtis Selby. Life would be a dream, sweetheart. Yes, I thought of that song too, but I need people to harmonize with. If you'd have told me in advance, maybe I could have brought you on and we could have harmonized together. Thank you so much for the super chat. That makes up for the fact that this stream is almost certainly already demonetized because of the song. I do have some other songs lined up. If you want to hear me sing some more songs about dreams, just give me a super chat. And I've got a very, very special song that I prepared. Not sure I can do it. It's a tough one. So that one's going to require a a bit more of a contribution. I'm looking for something in the $20 range. And I still might screw it up, so it might not even be worth it. You might want to pay me $20 not to sing it. Salute! Deleted scenes. Welcome, welcome. You are a good man. Yeah, Films with Friends raid. Yeah. How was that? What was it? Icky Bads from the Deep or something? I know it was like a kind of a Lovecraftian kind of story. And speaking of which, Big Al Presents. Have a great stream, my friends. Some of my dream characteristics: always rain, snow, or bad weather. Forgetting how to operate things. Feeling someone will find I'm a fraud at work. Interesting. Lately, my most common, recurring dream theme has been owning a new house that's completely run down and having to fix all kinds of things and not being too happy about it. Also, the toilet's not working. But that one's not a big surprise. I wake up and I gotta go pee because, I'm old. I know, WTMI, right? For the longest time, I dreamt I was trying to do 2 or 3 of my worst jobs from the past at the same time. Yikes. I also dreamt that my ex-wife was trying to run me down with her car while her mother was pointing and laughing and saying, "This proved I was bad." Yeah. Maybe get some pointers from Lady Myst about the lucid dreaming. You might want to start testing yourself to see if you're actually dreaming, because that sounds like something that could totally happen in real life. Good evening, everyone. I am so glad Sir Torrhen Clegane is here. That special song that I said that I was thinking about, he might really appreciate. I was hoping that he would be here just in case I do end up singing it.
Was that one that you owed him?
Didn't owe him one, but I just know this is in his wheelhouse. And CK, welcome, greetings.
I also presume at some point you're going to introduce me and Boomer.
I will. I'll get there. I haven't seen you in the chat yet. I'm going in order. For the first time in months, I've got a full bottle of whiskey. Oh, man, I know how you do that. Interesting. You've got a full bottle of whiskey. I'm out of whiskey. I got to get some more. And hail, Tim Hayes. Welcome. So glad you're here. Haven't seen you in a while, my friend. You are good people. When you said Tim sent that picture of the Legos, was that this Tim or another Tim?
FKH.
Oh, okay. Well, to the other Tim then, thank you so much for showing me that the Red Room Lego. That's very, very interesting. Do you know anything about that Lego set? Did the person that did it, do they have a recipe online for it or something? I'd be curious to find out. I might be willing to put that together. I was in Netter's simulcast in this live stream on her channel at first. That's great. We're all simulcasting here, me and Netter and Boomer. So wherever you choose to view is awesome. Obviously, the main channel usually has the most chats if you want to chat with people, but it doesn't really matter.
I answer all my chats.
Awesome. And well, I hope you guys are saying about the song. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do.
I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, it's off of the Sleep Warm album. The music is by the Frank Sinatra Orchestra, conducted by Frank Sinatra. Yeah. Welcome, Nate. Thank you so much for being here. Boy, am I tired. Hello. So something tells me Samuel Proctor is going to be dreaming sooner than later, possibly sooner than the rest of us. And then, of course, there is dreams are strange. And you know who else is strange? My designated driver, Agent Boomer. How you doing, my friend? What are you sipping on?
Okay. Well, I'm a bit nervous because we got a tropical storm headed our way this weekend. Not necessarily a hurricane, but they say flooding could happen, but we'll see.
Yeah. Did you see that on Thursday? Well, you may not have been watching Thursday. Netter and I blinked out towards the end of her stream again. We were able to pull it back together and end the stream, but yeah, that was a boomer.
I also have.
Bummer. It was a bummer, boomer.
I have a fortune cookie that I can open up from Panda Express.
You know how that works. You got to break it open. Eat
what
one
if it's
piece
already
first.
broken? What if it's already broken?
You still got to eat a piece before you read the fortune.
Well, this is I have another one that's broken, but
I'm getting there.
That one for Sunday. Okay, so pull from and then eat the part from the left side, right?
It doesn't matter left or right. You just eat the piece that doesn't have anything in it because, well, you don't want to eat your fortune. And you do that, so you're basically telling the fortune cookie, okay, I accept the fortune that you're going to accept. You're going to give me before I see it, and then you pull it out of the other one so that you can read it.
So here's the fortune: the wise learn more from fools than fools from the wise.
That's just a truism. But it's wise. It is good. It is a good piece of wisdom.
And I'm drinking a lemonade.
Awesome. A hard lemonade?
No, from Chick-fil-A.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
Yes, early.
Oh, okay. So yeah. You should keep it low octane. But yeah, Chick-fil-A lemonade's pretty good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. You guys saying hi to each other. And Final Fantasy fan 012. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. I'm fairly sure I had my first encounter with a sleep paralysis demon a few weeks ago.
Yikes.
It looked like an old scuba diver. Now, that's a new one. I haven't heard that about sleep paralysis, but, you know, and everybody... I will tell... If we get to that, I know that Boomer has a presentation prepared, so...
Well,
if we get to sleep paralysis and whatnot,
no,
I will share my.
It's not that fancy.
Oh, okay.
This is what the present.
No, I guess not.
I'm not an expert on this subject, but I found a book, and basically what it is I'll show you a series of images, and if you pick one of the images, I will share with you what that dream was by the person and what the interpretation is.
Awesome.
But we don't have to do them all. We might be here all night. You just do one or two. See what strikes you as interesting. And I have a selection of my own personal nightmares, images of those. So,
awesome. Mm-hmm. Gorilla Random Thoughts is here, and I would appreciate it if everybody subscribed to him. He is criminally undersubbed, as is Boomer, by the way. You know.
Yeah, it's all right.
But he says kapla and kapla edge nuknech. Yeah, speaking of Klingon, I'm real excited. They had the Kep-A a few weeks ago, and Mark Malnikoff shared the list of new words. A lot of words for maybe someone who's a linguist knows what the term for it is. A word that's a borrowed word from another language because there wouldn't be a translation. So like words like Jewish, Christian, Islamic. These are words that Klingons wouldn't have because they're human concepts. So they basically Klingonize, Jewish and English, so forth. But a lot of religious-related things, a lot of chemistry and geology-related things. So I'm wondering who requested them and what they're planning to do with them. Should be very, very interesting. But that's a topic for another video. Let's see. Random, saying hi to each other. One of my recurring dreams is my teeth falling out. That is actually very common. I have had that dream myself.
What does it mean?
I'm wondering how many people who have that dream have also had braces. I've attributed it to having braces. But maybe not. Maybe there's no correlation whatsoever.
I had braces.
Yes, I have many, many times.
I
would tell you my dreams, but YouTube would give you a community guideline strike. Yeah, I was thinking about that too when I started thinking through what I was going to be sharing on this stream. But who knows? The more I drink, you never know. Also, being able to fly. Yes, as a kid, I used to dream that one a lot. It's hard to control like the greatest American hero. Yes, that is true. I have had that exact same dream. I used to lean into the wind, imagining that I could fly. And that's really what it felt like in dreams. I've written some of my dreams. One of the weirdest ones was a high school one where it was just a normal dream and my dad driving me through the mountains and not finding a parking spot in a giant mech and kaiju fight. Well, there you go. The kind of thing that happens every day. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. I just saw a very interesting video about the Eurythmics on Professor of Rock, talking about the origins of that song. It's literally a song about the executives in the music industry, because they were going through some really hard times with their record label. Very, very common. A lot of the breakup songs that you think are about, people breaking up and relationships or what. No, it's about, the problems they're having with their managers or their record label or whatever it is. In school, I dreamt I was in a school all night, then would wake up tired. Then I decided, delicerated?
Delivered.
There's no V in that word.
Okay, but it was a misspell.
Okay, when I delivered pizza, I dreamt I was delivering pizza all night. Wow.
Do you love it when you dream about working in your dream and you wake up
and
you realize you have to work the whole day again?
I never had that exact dream, but I had a close dream, because I delivered pizzas too. And I used to have nightmares where I couldn't find the location I was trying to deliver to, and it was miserable. Haven't remembered a dream in quite some time. That's very common, especially as you get older. I've had too many dreams about owning my own house, or there being rooms in my house right now. It drives me insane. Yeah. Speaking of Mark Malinikoff, greetings from the dilithium mines of Rurapente, where no good deed goes unpunished. You were telling me a little bit about that offline. I was just sharing a little bit about some of the new words in Klingon that you shared with me. Why is the whiskey always gone? Because I just ran out. I haven't had a chance to refresh it. That's why I'm having. Well, also Dean Martini. I just figured, I've had too many dreams about owning my own. Oh, I just did that one, didn't I? It drives me insane.
Is Rurapente where Kirk and McCoy were?
Yes, it's the prison planet.
Where he punched the alien in his genitals, not realizing he did that.
Yeah, thinking it was knees. Yeah, exactly. And there we go. Netter. Let's bring her in. I know I probably missed a couple of chats from you.
You missed a bunch from me.
Well, this is what happens when I start Martini.
The very first one I always put in every single chat is hello to you.
I love you too, Netter.
Always. So you bypassed a crap ton of me saying hello to people before now. I feel disrespected.
How are you doing and what you sipping on?
I am sipping on the Meyer brand sparkling water berry.
There you go.
Not a sponsored stream.
Yeah, it should be.
And you owe me big hugs.
I do owe you big hugs. Right after the stream. Dang it, I missed the first 10 minutes. Thanks, YouTube, catching up at double speed. Oh, great, I'm singing in double speed. That's going to sound... Well, it didn't sound very great to begin with, but now you're going to get the Chipmunks version. Yeah, exactly. I've been walking up and down Salt Lake City all day. I let myself loose. I think I will sleep well tonight. Good, I understand. She did it by herself without instructions.
For the Twin Peaks room, which I was trying to tell you earlier, and you kept saying I'll get to the
and I just got to it. See, there you go.
Because you're going to get to it later and go, huh? Tim said that he asked permission. You can show the red room if you want to, that she created.
If Deleted Scenes wants, we'll show it on Tuesday. Sure, absolutely. back when there was a Dungeon magazine. I remember Dungeon magazine. I've got digital copies of all of them. Affiliated with D&D, they used to have special classes. If you wanted something different than the player's handbook, they had a class called the Dreamer. Didn't know about that. That's very interesting. I also remember that in the Ravenloft campaign setting, there was something called the Dreamlands. And it was kind of related to the Lovecraftian Dreamlands, but also it drew a lot from the native Australian Aboriginal beliefs about the dreaming. I have a friend and his wife live 60 miles south of Tampa. Okay, good. Hope they're safe. Hope all of y'all in the Florida area is safe.
We'll know by Sunday afternoon, I think, at least in my area.
Well, Sleepwalk isn't really a song so much as it's a piece of music. Beautiful piece of music, played on a slide guitar, but as I recall, features very prominently in the movie Sleepwalker, Stephen King, starring Madchen Amick from Twin Peaks. Let's call it Trey Pacelli. I remember one dream I had where I was a James Bond-like spy, spying on a Black Widow-esque woman. I'm sure you were, who was also spying on me. What's that, Boomer?
I want to have this dream.
I know, right? But we didn't know until the end. It's one of my story ideas. You know what? That's a very Mr. and Mrs. Smith type sounding story. You know, absolutely. My last fortune cookie said, "You are soon to change your line of work. I hope that means no more hurting Romulan and Ferengi patak poop." Yeah. Sounds like the latest episode of Evil. Is that show still going, Big Al? Because I know you were really enjoying that show.
Final season coming up.
Okay. My dreams are like movie plots mostly. I love it when I get one, even nightmares, just another horror plot to give me inspiration. We'll probably be talking about the inspiration of dreams too, going as we go. So, Age of Boomer, did you know that fortune cookies are not Chinese? They were invented in America, San Francisco, to be exact.
Yes, I responded.
Yes, we did know that. My rhetoric about how to eat fortune cookies come from modern day esoteric knowledge, not like some ancient Chinese secret. That's for washing your clothes with Calgon. You can show the oh yeah, okay. Netter was just telling us about that. I knew you were gonna do that. Buddha Lao Ang Jikwek. There you go. I knew you were going to find a way to work that in because those that don't know, Mark Malnikoff is Buddhist of Jewish descent, and so there's and Klingon. So yeah, he is a Buddhist Klingon of Jewish descent.
He could be Mr. Cotter's classroom.
Yeah,
like Juan Epstein, right?
Yes.
Let me guess. Your father was Jewish. No, my mother was Rabinowitz.
Yeah, I didn't know that the was recently or I would have arranged for you to go.
I don't think it was in Chicago or the Chicago area. I wasn't going to travel for it, so yeah. I dreamed about my canine teeth falling out. But never had braces. Okay, so...
And I had braces and I never had any dreams about teeth falling out.
Okay, so...
Not that I remember.
The dream about teeth falling out is very common. I started having that dream after I got my braces or got rid of my braces. I'm not sure which. And I thought there was a connection, so I guess I was just wrong.
Did you have the old school braces where they were the metal and the dentist had to come in and tighten them every so often?
Yes.
I had those too. Those were miserable.
I had for all the molars, I had the metal bands.
Did you have the retainer you had to put in front of your mouth when you weren't eating or whatever?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
Now, see, I didn't have that. I had the metal braces because I couldn't do the Invisalign because my teeth were too crooked. But I didn't have that thing that the retainer in front of my face. But I do wear retainers now at night. Well, I've been wearing them since I got my braces off, and I wear retainers for the top and both top and bottom at night, so that my teeth don't shift back and cause gaps.
That makes it easier to pronounce. Thank you, Mark.
We should do a dentist story.
Budha Laldan Jikek. Thank you. Yes, when you write it correctly, I can read it more easily.
Okay.
I had a dream, but it died years ago. Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim. The first 2 dreams I had were nightmares. They didn't have another for about 16 years. My first one was about severed heads. Yeah, community strike. If science is correct, you dream every night. You just don't remember your dreams every night. You have to wake up at a very specific time in relationship to REM sleep in order to remember your dreams. My dreams typically are boring or nonsensical. Welcome, Madanui.
See, now, I've had a lot of dreams about the house I grew up in. Either, like one of them I had, don't know why, but it in the dream, I was about maybe 11 years old, and in our dining room, instead of it being a big blank wall, that was because there's in our dining room on one end, just before the kitchen, was my parents' bedroom, and on the other end, before you get into the living room, was the bathroom. So there was this big blank wall in between, and on that wall, or stacked against that wall, was a bunch of coffins, and in one of the coffins was my sister, who got out and started talking to me about death. Now, she's still very much alive.
Wow. And
it was just like really, really weird. Other times I've dreamt that I've gone to the house and I'm trying to get an overabundance of mail out of our mailbox because apparently we hadn't emptied the mailbox in months. And I can't get it all out and I can't carry it. I mean, weird things like that. And it's all to do with the house I grew up in when I was a little kid.
Yeah, well, that seems interesting. I mean, especially the coffin part.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I've actually had that one twice.
Yeah, sometimes you dream, what are they called?
I dream in reruns.
Reruns, exactly. I like this one from Sir Torrhen Clegane. There was a dream where I worked with the Three Stooges and Curly Joe didn't care for me, so he tossed me off the stage while I was dressed as Superman. I could just picture that. That's just hysterical. And the way AI is going, pretty soon you'll be able to turn that dream into an actual short film. At one point, I dreamt a tornado picked. I have dreamt about tornadoes many times, and picked me up, and then I could glide around, but I was always slowly losing altitude. So now, in dreams, when I see a tornado, I excitedly run into it. You don't do that when you're awake, okay? Make sure that you're dreaming. Like an elevator to a flight. There you go. Dreams of living in outer space under the ocean, riding on the back of a pet dragon, and teleporting to another place on this planet are fun stuff like that. Are also just normal things. Wow, you got your lucid dreams all planned out, don't you? My recurring dreams is surviving a zombie apocalypse. I'm going through a city I've never been in before, picking up survivors, trying to make our way out of the city. That kind of makes me think of one of the theories about why dreams exist. We'll get to that. Sometimes I do the Picard thing where I dream an entire lifetime with grandkids, etc. Then I wake up and I'm like, oh, yeah. I had a dream when I was, let's say, a teenager. I was probably younger than that, but I'll say teenager, and literally fell in love in that dream. Oh. And I spent about 10 years or so trying to find that woman in real life. Thankfully, I did, and we'll be celebrating our anniversary tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
But sadly, I do retain the ability to play I do not retain the ability to play a flute. I'll tell you something. You can find that Ressican flute tune, the full version of it, online. And it kind of brings me to tears each time. And I've also talked about the Star Trek The Next Generation adult parody that I said that I have seen a PG version of it, an edited PG version of it that plays like a really good episode of The Next Generation. The guy playing Picard at one point picks up the flute, and he's getting ready to play a tune when Beverly comes in. And then I won't describe anything after that. Since 2016, I'm just saying, keep having dreams of Donald Trump takes over as CEO of the company I work at, comes to the store, fires my boss, and puts me in charge. Yeah, I don't see that happening only because I don't see you taking the job. I know you too well. You would say, Donald, I appreciate your faith in me, but no. And what the hell are you doing buying this company? Just saying. No hug for her now. I may have missed something there. Not recurring dream, but episodic dreams. Continuing of the night before dream. Lady Myst, if you're not writing these dreams down, you are very, very much doing yourself and the world a disservice, because you could probably turn those into some pretty good stories. Thank you so much, Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. Has been a member for 1 month. Melatonin is to sleep. What is to dreams? I often thought about having that conversation about my beta blocker due to sleep issues. However, I've been sleeping better and dreaming dreams. Yeah, you don't have quality sleep if you're not entering REM sleep and dreaming. We're not 100% certain why, but there are theories. Just dropping by to hit the like. I understand. CK, have a great evening. I super, super appreciate you. Let's see. Guys saying hi to each other. Speaking of RPGs and dreams, shout out to Changeling the Dreaming, which is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. I bought all of those. What were they? They were the White Wolf World of Darkness. I bought all of those World of Darkness. Changeling the Dreaming, Vampire the Masquerade, Mage. I don't remember what the subtitle was. The one about the werewolves, Prometheus, the one about the Frankenstein creatures. I got all of those books. I got all of them. Never actually played them, but I love the lore from those. Haven't played... you haven't played... You're talking to... Yeah. Vampire the Masquerade. Yes, I was drawing that correlation. The secret is to take advantage of extreme echoes. It literally changes the reality of the entire game. There you go. Final Fantasy. I know I had a flying dream one night, and I had this because I was watching a video on one of David Copperfield's shows where he was flying. Yeah, I saw that too. That was pretty brilliant. A very good gag. Sadly, I knew exactly how that trick was done. I know how most of David Copperfield's tricks were done. I studied magic with Jerry G. Bishop, who those of you in the Chicagoland area will remember as the original Svengoolie. I did not know he was Svengoolie when I was learning magic from him. I did not know until years later, and I'm like, you're shitting me. Yeah. I found that out so much later. Yeah, whatever. Evil has 3 more episodes left in the 4th and final season. There you go. We were taught the fortune cookie thing by Iron Man 3. Exactly. And how good shawarma is when you're out with friends. I've had weird dreams, not that kind, involving fictional characters at times. Well, Madanui, I'm very sorry. Maybe someday you will have that kind. I bet a lot of you got your teeth pulled back in the day when that was the thing they did. I did have one tooth pulled. I had a tooth coming in that was causing some problems, and so I had it yanked, and I had to wear a retainer to fix the other ones. And this was before I had braces.
Was it a werewolf tooth?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I have a tooth that is sharp like a canine, but this one isn't really technically a canine.
I had a fang.
Yes, you did, and you got that straightened out. A recurring night.
It was removed.
Oh,
because
right,
it was on my gum coming out. So it's like I still had the tooth down there, but I had the fang.
But the
right
space
above it.
has been replaced by having your teeth straightened.
There was no space there. It was my regular teeth, and then there was another fang in my gum coming out. And my mom thought that was weird, so she had the dentist remove it. I still have the fang.
A recurring nightmare I had when my kids were little was that they'd be playing in the driveway behind my van. I wouldn't see them back over them. Would wake up and hug them. I'm going to take a brief second to explain. That plays directly into one of the theories of dreams, and that is that dreams are about things we're afraid of happening. And they are like warnings to be careful, warnings of how to deal with things that we don't want to deal with but may have to someday, things like that. And welcome, Logical Spark. Good to see you there. Let's see. Has anyone fallen asleep with the television on and the program playing gets incorporated into the dream? Wow. Netter has. My mom, a lot of people of her generation talk about knowing exactly where they were when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And she's got a story that because she was home from school with a high fever, and she must have heard the television and whatnot because she woke up saying she had a dream about Abraham Lincoln being assassinated, only to find out that Kennedy had been assassinated. I was a kid when Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs came out. I know that movie. I had spaghetti tornado nightmares for months. Oh, gosh. Well, I wouldn't mind that so much. I'd just eat my way to safety. When my mom died a week later, I dreamt she was alive, and she said, "I can't feel my legs. I'm cold." Wow. Yeah. Very common to dream about loved ones, especially right after they've passed. Heard what Jordan Peterson has to say about dreams. I'm not sure, Samuel Proctor. If you want to DM me like a link or something to one of his videos, I'd check it out. I like Jordan Peterson, I really do. Podcasts have entered my dreams, and the conversations that turn into conversations in my dreams. There you go. When Grandma died, I dreamt she didn't know she died. That happens. That happens sometimes. How many years, Netter? It's been 30. Is it 32 or 30? I can't see through the light. 32. I was about to guess correctly. Now, every time someone dies, I dream that they don't know that they've died yet. That's going to become a recurring theme for you, I'm afraid. Then 10 years later, I dreamt about Mom, and she was shopping. She was a shopaholic. She saw me and said, "Where are these grandkids of mine?" There you go. I wonder what the flute was used for. Oh, no. Honestly, as adult films go, it was wholesome enough that if you cut out the sex, it was a perfectly good episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Nothing like that. Let's see. And Pacific 414, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Make sure you check out his channel and subscribe. My favorite lucid dream when I was a kid is being a crew member aboard the 1965 Jupiter 2 and developing a romance with Penny Robinson. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Yeah, I liked Penny too. I also had a nightmare of being hunted by Dementors after seeing The Prisoner of Azkaban for the first time. There you go. Then I have a random dream about a weird insectoid god trying to wipe out humanity, and a team of heroes I made up coming and claiming to have fought gods and won. See, you guys got to write these down. You could have best-selling books or good comics. I really want to know how to lucid dream. I've never been able to. The Cluu Channel, welcome, welcome. You learned from your Uncle Penn Gillette. I am a huge fan of Penn and Teller. I really, really am. Did learn some tricks from Penn. Not personally, obviously, but, you know, he's done a lot of videos talking about how to do different tricks. It is pretty cool, Samuel Proctor. I never was able to just will it to happen, though. I know Beyond the Hub guys say it was he's afraid to. Yeah, see, I know what Nick is referring to. He's seen some stuff about lucid dreaming that's very esoteric, and it doesn't need to be. You know, I mean, there's people that get into real weird hoodoo type crap related to all of that. What? You don't have to. It's just realizing that you're in a dream and taking control of the dream. There's nothing supernatural necessarily about it. Yeah, well, CK, yeah, they do pull teeth still, but it used to be far more common. They try to avoid it whenever possible. Let's see. Afraid of getting beaten by the Three Stooges. They pulled teeth out back in the day. They pulled teeth out to help things, but they don't do it anymore. Now they use braces and the like. Yeah, they still do sometimes. Especially, well, now what they usually do is after they filled it to the point that they can't do that anymore, they put a crown on it. And if the crown ever becomes a problem, then they yank the root and they go for a post. Let's see here. That's always sweet. Long, meaningful conversation with your mother. The next day she passed away. Yeah. Good evening, Evelyn Hampton. Sorry you missed my song. You might have liked it. I did a Dean Martin tune. So following up the things about dreaming about those who died, my best friend committed suicide. Well, I just got demonetized if I wasn't already for the song. And when I dreamt about him, he did know he was dead, and he in his house at night with demons outside. Yikes. Yeah. Penn and Teller are big proponents of the Second Amendment. Doesn't surprise me because they're libertarians. I didn't know specifically about that, but yes, they are libertarians. The only thing in the house where what he was into, and it didn't make him happy. That sucks. Let's see here. I am one more. And then later we went into the funeral, and the house it was held in was the house from the dream, which I'd never been to before. That's pretty wild. And welcome, Sashi. Good to see you, my friend. All right, let's get to the main event. Aged Boomer has some dream-related material to share with us.
Yes, he does.
I do? Oh, yeah,
Don't you?
I do. Yes, let's...
You've been preparing this for over a week now.
No, like a couple hours. Anyway, hey, welcome, Dreams.
There you go.
All right. What do you think of this image? How about this image? I made these on Canva, and apparently there's one aspect called like magical or something, like no, dreamy. So these are the dreamlike images.
Let me tell you something. If you've never used Midjourney or something like that, the process is very it makes me think like the computer is dreaming. You see this thing as like fuzzy images that become clearer and clearer, and then boop, you got a picture.
All right, so
it creeps me out a little bit almost.
So pick an image, man. What do you like here?
Tell me about the Buddha.
Okay, there we go. Now, give me a moment for me to find it. It is not, in fact, a Buddha.
Yes, it is. I say so.
Well, it's probably how the stupid computer thought it was going to look like. But
right.
I'm getting these, by the way, from the Complete Book of Dreams by Julia and Derek Parker from DK Living. All right. You've heard of those DK books?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Hold on, I got all kinds of tabs here. No, that's the rock star. We don't want that one. I'll find it. Give me a minute. No, that's the claws. Okay. No. There we go. The Balloon Man Dream. And this was from... Ooh. Let me adjust my eyes. Never mind. Doesn't say who. Okay. This is the dream. I was walking through a large market. There were lots of vendors selling fruit and vegetables, and I came across one where a man was making cotton candy. He called me over and handed me a huge piece of cotton candy on a stick. I started to eat it, and I did so. I saw an advertising billboard on the top of the stall with a fat, jolly balloon man looking down at me. As I looked, he shrank and deflated. However, with every mouthful of cotton candy I ate, he grew fatter. Suddenly, the cotton candy turned into potting soil mix, which tasted horrid. The balloon man became very bad-tempered and shouted down to me, "If you eat that stuff, I'll go thin again, but you'll get fat." I knew that he was right, but I also somehow knew that I wanted him to be thin again, and that I was right to try and eat the potting soil mix. I plunged my hand into the compost to pick up another mouthful. I was aware of the small, gritty pieces of soil getting under my nails. I glanced down at the container. What had been a simple plant pot was now a beautiful gold vase from which a shoot began to grow. It became a large sunflower. As I went to pick it up, I woke up. What do you think of that one?
This is a specific dream by a specific person?
Yes. And I have an interpretation, too, if you want me to tell you the interpretation.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so this is from this DK book. George had a great difficulty maintaining relationships. He had been on the lists of several dating agencies to no avail, because when he met a woman, he would brag, show off, or pretend to be someone quite other than himself. This tendency was due to a lack of self-confidence, resulted from living in the shadow of an older brother who was smarter and better looking than he. George was, in fact, a nice, practical, reliable person with many down-to-earth qualities. The accent on food in the dream represented the love and affection that he craved. George, being in a dream market, reflected the fact that he was shopping around for a partner. It was interesting, however, that he ignored the delicious fruit, vegetables, and meat that would have given him real sustenance. He was instead attracted to the sweet, ephemeral cotton candy. The man who offered it to him was a symbol of his brother. This was summoning up George's problems in relation to his brother very clearly. The balloon advertisement man was George himself, and his comments to George were showing him that he was simply an inflated bag of air that could become deflated at the slightest provocation. If he continued along his unproductive path of trying to find a partner, his odds for meeting with success were not at all good. George wanted to discover a new way to true love, hence his dislike of the balloon man and his equal's dislike but awareness of the message. The dream was telling him to come down to earth and be more sensible. In the dream, he did this by making himself eat the unpleasant tasting potting soil mix, which got under his nails and irritated him as much as it nauseated him. The sunflower in its pot that turned to gold also represented George, the new George. It was a perfect symbol of hope and rebirth, showing him the potential rewards of becoming more true to himself. This dream seemed meaningless at first, and George had to work hard to believe that the balloon man did, in fact, represent himself. However, once he recognized the salesman as symbolizing his brother, The dream began to make more sense to him, and the moment he associated himself with the balloon man, the word deflated came to mind, and the connection became even clearer. What do you think?
That's weird.
What do you mean?
But I think we're going to get a lot of weird.
That was
out
the
of dreams.
interpretation. Did you like that? Do you like the balloon man? That's what the AI came up with, by the way. Not so different than the drawings in the book, actually. I'll say that. He's kind of bald-headed in the drawings too, so that's interesting.
I still say it's a Buddha. If I was dreaming this, I'd be dreaming about. I would describe it as being a Buddha.
Okay. What did you think of the dream, Netter? Was it interesting?
It was interesting. I'm just thinking eating dirt. Yuck.
Well, think about Data in his dream on Star Trek when everyone was eating the cellular peptide cake, remember?
You remember that very clearly. That's very
I like
good.
that episode, I'm sorry. And Deanna Troi was the cake, remember that?
Yeah, I wouldn't dream of eating her as a cake. Let's put it that way.
Anyway, Worf thought it was delicious. Were they dating at the time?
Of course
on the show,
he did.
Too? Were they dating at the time on the show? I think they were.
Depends on what season it was taking place in. They might have been.
Final season, I think.
Yeah, it was seventh season they were dating, yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Did you like the balloon man?
Yeah, I've never had a dream like that. I can tell you that.
Okay. Let's scroll to another image. We don't have to do them all, but let's see here. All right. Let's see, what do I got here? We got the car, the bull, the ballerina, lady in the desert, the narrow forest path, jungle path, rock star on the tree, and the bride.
The scared bride. That's got to be archetypical. Do you know anything about that one? Yeah.
Yeah, let me get to that one. Hold on, let me find the page. You like the AI images, by the way?
Yeah.
That's a good one, I thought. They tended to like that one. Come on. I'm using those little sticky tabs that you can buy. No, that's the rock star. Where's the bride? There we are. The wedding dream. I was about to get married and was walking down the aisle. However, I was dressed entirely in black. Oh, well, I guess I got that wrong. Okay, however, I was dressed entirely in black with heavy black shoes and a black veil and was carrying a bouquet of dead black roses. I did not want to get married and seemed neither to know nor care who the bridegroom was. Suddenly, the aisle of the large and crowded church began to slope, so that I began to walk faster and faster towards the altar, despite my efforts to hang back. Reluctant and full of dread, I tried to keep away from the altar, which I now saw was piled high with dirty washing and a huge mound of earthy potatoes. I knew that I would have to do the washing and peel the potatoes. The slope of the aisle now became even steeper, and all the people and the church began to chant, "Go, go, go!" As I approached the altar, I dropped my bouquet, which then burst into hundreds of different things: saucepans, a shovel, socks, pieces of paper, and all kinds of garbage. The crowd shouted at me to clear up the mess so that they could all go home, and people started to poke me with long, skinny fingers. I tried to pick everything up, but it was difficult. The garbage was suddenly blowing around and away from me. Then I caught a glimpse of a colorful butterfly. I reached out for it, but it flew up into the sky. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I've never had that one either, but it's
Netter?
pretty freaky.
Yeah, that's out there.
I will say this, though. I would not be too surprised to have that weird a dream. I have some pretty weird dreams when I've been drinking. Okay. I have the weirdest dreams when I drink. So every Friday night, I have some pretty weird ones.
Do you want the interpretation?
Sure.
Laura had for a long time been living a fulfilled life as an artist, but had been able to sell only a few paintings. Money became scarce, and when her boyfriend lost his job, they slipped deeper into debt. At the time of the dream, she was being forced into taking a dull job at a factory. She knew that she would hate the job, but it was essential that she earn some money. The wedding represented for Laura's reluctant commitment to her new job, and the dead roses were a symbol of her faded hopes. She was extremely depressed at the time, and the prominence of black was was symbolic of this. The veil over her face seemed to be hiding her shame, and perhaps also symbolized her aversion to what was ahead of her in her waking life. The unsympathetic crowd represented her problems and the garbage, and her inability to gather it up symbolized her reaction to the work she would be doing in the factory. The altar was a symbol of sacrifice, and the piles of washing and potatoes represented drudgery. The potatoes also represented the sustenance that she would receive as a result of her dull, laborious work. The one positive element in the dream was the colorful butterfly. It was a ray of hope, although she was unable to catch it, and she drew the parallel between the bright colors of the creature and her painting. It is possible that when her financial situation improved, she would, in a future dream, catch the butterfly. While the dream was clearly summoning up her present situation and her deep depression and reluctance, there was also a message of hope. Laura was, quote-unquote, dragging her feet due to the weight of her shoes, an indication of reluctance. The aisle of the church started to slope downward, showing the increasing serious financial situation. The exploding bouquet represented her anger, but she tried to counter this by attempting to accept the situation, even if it meant sacrificing her real work. She had visited the factory and knew that she would be working under considerable pressure to keep up with the production lines. This is signified by the jeering crowd. What do you think?
There you go. Can I tell you about a dream?
Yes, you may.
This is actually probably one of the most famous dreams in history.
Okay.
So it's winter of 1862. Chemistry professor in Belgium is working on one of the most pressing problems in chemistry, the structure of benzene. Benzene is a hydrocarbon molecule, and all hydrocarbon molecules are made of hydrogen and carbon, obviously. But in benzene, the ratio of these elements is unique. Instead of having more hydrogen atoms than carbon atoms, like most hydrocarbons, benzene has the same number of hydrogen and carbon atoms, 6 and 6. What strange molecular structure could let these... okay, so you got to picture carbon. Carbon makes a lot of bonds. And you usually have, like a bunch of connections. Hydrogen only makes one. You remember that? One electron on hydrogen. Carbon has 6. So,
yes.
How could that... Right, okay.
How could it be?
Exactly. So what could that structure be? How could it fit together? Frustrated, he turned his chair towards a warm fire to take a nap. As he slept, visions of atoms and molecules danced in his mind's eye. They turned into a series of snakes. Then suddenly one of the snakes coiled around and bit its own tail like an Ouroboros. He solved the chemical structure of benzene in a dream. Yes, this chemist was August, and I'm going to butcher it, Kekule? And the year was 1862. The dream revolutionized organic chemistry. One of the theories of dreams is that your dream process is your brain's way of working on a problem that you are having a difficulty consciously solving. One of the things you can do unconscious. Yeah, one of the things you can do unconsciously is, of course, tap into other parts of the brain, other parts of thought that'll inspire you. Like in this case, who as a chemist would think about representing atoms as snakes in the first place, let alone, taking the form of an Ouroboros?
Well, does the snake represent the serpent and the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge? Blah blah blah.
That's another thing. So another person who was big on dream. Well, from the standpoint of psychoanalysis, of course, the father of psychoanalysis is Sigmund Freud. for him, everything was sexually based, right? It's all repressed memories and desire for an inappropriate relationship with a parent, and blah blah blah, and this and that.
He asked Data that question. Tell me about your mother. Remember that?
Yes, exactly. And even he acknowledged sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but usually phallic symbols represented a penis, and any
serpent or something like that.
Yeah, or whatever, and every cleft and hole was a vagina, and he was just obsessed with sex, but that is a cultural thing, right? Actually, in his time, there could have been something to some of his theories, right? Because of the repressive nature of the time that he lived in. But a contemporary of his, a successor of his, Carl Jung, had a different theory, and that was that dreams were based on archetypes, because he noticed that many different cultures dreamed very similar dreams. I don't think that what he was describing was causal. I think he was describing something that was correlational. I think he was describing a symptom of dreaming less than, a causality. Everybody has similar fears. Everyone has similar ambitions, regardless of who you are, where you live, right? You want to survive. You are afraid of dying. You are afraid of losing people you care about. Afraid of losing, wealth, or, not being able to feed yourself, or, getting lost, being hunted, all these kinds of things. These are very natural things that everyone is preoccupied with. So the idea that people would have similar dreams to reason through those is not too terribly uncommon. I don't talk about this much, but when Netter and I were dating, I was majoring in psychology. I went to university, and I was going to go into clinical psychology. Did a lot of studying about Freud, Jung, all the psychoanalysis in your first year. That's what you do. Kind of like history before you start getting into more modern theories. And personally, I had come to the decision that if dreams are for working through problem solving and dealing with social and other fears and concerns and whatnot that you might have, then really the only way to interpret a dream is, what do you think it means? Now therein lies a problem, because in most psychoanalysis, the rule is that introspection changes the experience. So you can't, for example, psychoanalyze yourself. You need an analyst to do that who's objective.
Yes.
But I and while I understand that, I think when it comes to psychoanalysis, you do need an objective observer to point out things that you are obviously and clearly, avoiding, and repressing and whatnot. But I think when it comes to things like dreams, you might need to talk to somebody to help you through it, but you might also pretty well know what it's about. That one that you were talking about with the bride, someone I brought up the and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. There was a lot of chats. Said, this is anxiety about commitment. That's what it sounded like to me. But you say to that person, are you concerned about commitment? Oh, yeah, I've got this job that I've been really concerned with. There you go. That's what this dream was about.
It wasn't about getting married. It was about a job.
Exactly.
Committing to a job she didn't want to go to.
Yep. And Matanui is going to head off to Dreamland.
All right. So,
I just want to note that, we've been at it an hour. If anyone wants another song from me, I'd be willing to do it, but I need it paid for, because again, this chat is getting demonetized by the songs that I've played. But I've definitely got a song that I could say goodbye to Mananui with. That one's creepy. That one looks like what do you call it? Makes me think of the what were we talking about before? The Night Terror, the sleep paralysis demon.
Well, this I put up here to represent nightmares, in case you wanted to get into nightmares.
No. Don't misunderstand me. This particular stream is very likely demonetized because I sang a song at the beginning of it. Is what I'm saying.
On Rumble?
I'm not saying my channel got demonetized. Sorry to I don't know
what Rumble's rules are.
No, I've never had any problems on Rumble, Tim. Nope. So every time I get hit with one, I remove it from YouTube, but it's still there on Rumble.
So,
although tonight's isn't, I'm going to have to re-upload this stream to Rumble. Anyway, go on. Tell me about this image.
Well, no, I just said put in nightmare into the image creator, and this came up. I thought, oh, look at the woman sleeping.
And did it give you an analysis or anything for it?
No, because this is just general nightmare. But I figured
so that no.
Of my nightmares.
Let's stick here for a second. Let's talk about this. So this is the computer. I did say we were going to talk about sleep paralysis dreams, night terrors. Mm-hmm. Let's get into that a little bit. So,
right.
So night terrors. Well, actually, we should talk about sleep paralysis first. You all know how dreams work, right? You fall asleep, you kind of lose consciousness, and you enter something called REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. And during that time, your brain kind of generates the pictures and the story and the whatever. Regardless of the reason why, we're not getting into that part of it right now, but that's where the dreams happen, right? Now, your body wants to react to those dreams, wants to act them out, run away from, run to, manipulate, whatever is going on in the dream. And that could be dangerous. So your brain has neuroinhibitors that flood your brain to literally paralyze you of all your skeletal muscles, so you can't start running in your sleep or whatever. People that have a problem with that, where it doesn't work, those are the people that sleepwalk, and it can be a problem. But be that as it may, most people during REM sleep are paralyzed. Now, there is something that happens occasionally to many people, if not all people at some point, and that is the ability to wake up and be conscious of your surroundings while still paralyzed by those neuroinhibitors. During that time, you can still be dreaming. Because of the paralysis, many people have dreams of things like a homunculus sitting on your chest, a dark figure in the corner, men in black, aliens, an old hag crawling up onto you.
An old crone?
Pressing down on your chest.
Goodness, I don't want that.
I know. Imagine that is incredibly horrifying, and you can't move. You are completely paralyzed. Now, that relates to another aspect of nightmares called night terrors. There are people who have such bad nightmares that they wake up in a cold sweat, oftentimes still slightly paralyzed by the neuroinhibitors in the brain. So, for example, you wake up and you try to scream, and you get
See, now I've had, I guess you would call them paralyzing dreams, where I can't move, and I can only open my eyes for a split second, and I can see that there's somebody else in the room, but I can't keep my eyes open long enough to see like who or what it is. And I keep trying to open my eyes and keep them open, but it's like a blink. It's like I can't really see. Those ones, they're disturbing.
So Michael from Retroplasting, welcome, Michael. Last night I dreamed I was working for a corporation and my boss was John Roberts, and he fired me. I think I would prefer night terrors. My dream was just exhausting. I've had dreams where I get up. This was before I was working from home, where I would get up, get dressed, washed up, get ready for work, get in my car, drive to work, only to wake up as the alarm was going off. That sucks. It's like I just went through all this crap and I got to do it all over again.
Oh, I got a better one for you. When I was about 9, I had a dream that I got up, got dressed, went to school, attended all of my classes, managed to survive math class because my math teacher hated me, and got home just to wake up and find that I never did any of it. And it's like, I gotta go and do that all over.
There is also a lot of, there are actual behavioral studies. People who, everyone will, all your teachers probably told you this for years. You got to test them out. Make sure you study, but make sure you sleep well and get a good breakfast, right? Sleep well and get a good breakfast. If you study before you go to sleep and you get a full, thorough good night's sleep so that you do enter REM sleep, you learn better. It does seem that in dreams you take what you have learned throughout the day and you file it into your memory. And of course, breakfast, you gotta, if you're low on blood sugar when you go to take a test, you're gonna be screwed. But there you go. But Lady Myst said, had a dream I was running from an enemy when I came to a cliff hundreds of feet high, and as I came to the edge, I jumped off and dropped hundreds of feet into a river at the bottom. As I hit the water, I turned into a giant fish. Sounds like we're going to have incredible Mr. Limpet rewatch one of these nights.
What?
And swam down the ravine until I came to land with trees as tall as the sky, and I touched the land and I turned back into what I was before, and then I woke up. I have had a lot of dreams about being chased, and I've gotten really good in dreams at finding hiding spots, outdistancing, and so forth. There's a lot of people that have those like Jason type dreams. You're running, you're looking back, he's not there anymore, you turn around, he's right there. Never had that dream, right?
You never had Jason Voorhees?
No. Well, I may have done, but I'm just saying I have no problem running away from him.
I had a dream about the Sawyer family, or a Sawyer-like family.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that they were after me. That they did something like that showed up in a dream once.
There you go.
The evil hillbillies, with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, I get you. My dreams tend to be. Look, here's the thing: if you are afraid of something, you have a dream and you see the scenario in front of you, and you're like, "Well, I hope there's not a monster around that corner." There's going to be a friggin' monster around the corner. You call it into being. It's not quite lucid dreaming, but when you understand it, that's what lucid dreaming is, and we'll talk about that later. But I happen to be very rational in my dreams, so if I'm running from someone or something, and I've run a long distance, and then I duck down an alley, and I run, and I turn around, he's not there, I know I've probably lost him. And honestly, in my dream I have, because I believe that is the likely scenario. See, sometimes it's just a matter of how you perceive it. If you're not afraid, if you feel that you're in control, if you're able to cope with it, you wake up and you're like, not a nightmare. I'll tell you what, though. I had a night terror. I used to have a lot of night terrors as a child. And one of them that I had, I had exactly that. I woke up. I tried to scream for my mother, and I couldn't. My vocal cords were literally frozen. And it took a few minutes, and I started screaming, and she came, and I told her I'd had a nightmare, and, I was afraid to go back to bed. I was afraid to be in the dark. I was just friggin' afraid all over. She's like, okay, well, you know what? Tell me about the dream. Tell me about the dream, and that oftentimes helps work through it, and then you get your drink of water, go to the bathroom, you can go back to bed. You trust your mother. Okay, I'll do that. I told her about the dream, and, well, I'll tell you about the dream, and it doesn't merit the terror that I had. So I dreamt that I was in my room, middle of the day, bright, sunshiny day with the windows open and everything, and I'm reading one of those 1999 books that you get about history, back then. Get a new one every month, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, like the Time Life type books.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean, the Time Life books,
like
right?
The Old West. Then they have a series on the Old West, I think.
Exactly, but this particular one was about World War II.
Okay.
And I was reading about two soldiers, and as I was reading, it was like a commercial for Time Life Books was playing, narrating their story. And, I mean, the basic story was they were on their way, back. They weren't in combat. They were on their way back from something or whatever, and they got killed. It's terrible, but you expect to read stories like that when you're reading about war, right? For whatever reason, and of course you remember how those commercials were. If they described a story like that, it was super dramatic and blah, 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 and that just struck me like the most horrific thing in the world.
Yeah.
And like I said, I woke up and I couldn't move, and I was trying to scream and whatnot, which kind of fuels the fear and so forth. Mm-hmm. But just describing the dream, it's like, the dream itself wasn't that scary. Yeah, it was a terrible thing I was reading about, but I was in my room, I was safe, everything was bright and sunny. It wasn't really the dream that was the nightmare. It was whatever chemical reaction happens in your body that, just fills you with fear, and then you realize you're paralyzed and all that kind of stuff,
Well, I've had dreams where I've been watching a movie with characters and found the characters alone that aren't me. I've had those, but yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. I got a lot of stuff on MeWe, so I got to try and find where he. Did you? You didn't send it to me as a. Was a
what?
Direct message. Oh, okay. Here we go. So this is a Stephen Otten. He shared a dream. Deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. He said, a dream that stays with me. I didn't understand what, if anything, the dream means. Maybe someone out there can have some insight. Standing in a field, green grass as far as the eye can see. A golden retriever, looking much like one I used to have, but it's not him, runs up to me. It's happy to see me. It knows me. As I crouch down to pet it, its tail wagging at 100 miles an hour, I speak to it saying, "Doggy, doggy." It's not my voice. It's slow, robotic, like HAL 9000 at the end of 2001.
What?
So, doggy, doggy. Okay. There's a male voice from behind me. "It's time to go," he says. Turn to face him. I can only see him from the neck down. The man is dressed in a simple black suit and tie. He's not angry. He seems sad. Behind the man, I catch a glimpse of a two-story brick building. On both floors, a line of darkened windows I can't see into. For some reason, I think of my high school, although it clearly isn't. I look back to the dog, give him one last pat on the head before it runs happily back to the field. I follow the man to the as he walks towards the building. And I know that when I get inside, there are people who will shut me off. Then I wake up. Wow. Wow, that's pretty vivid. That is pretty vivid.
It's a little intense.
Can I share one more dream?
With the dog, I mean.
This one, again, is not mine.
Okay.
But I'd love to know if anyone recognizes this.
Okay.
So, someone's talking about something that happened to them in the morning, and this person says, "Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?" No? Why am I the only one who has that dream?
Now, I've had the dream where I'm trying to run, but the wind is blowing so strongly I can't move from the spot. I'm basically running in place. But a bunch of other people are passing by me, and it's like, why can't I run too? And it's always something where somebody is trying to grab onto me, like we're playing a game of tag or something like that, and I'm trying to run and I can't. That one tickles me.
I've had that dream, but like I said earlier, that's when I lean into the wind, and that's when I'm able to fly. There was one time when I was working 13 hours straight, 6 days a week, and I had a dream of continuing my job, immediately decided to change my job. Probably not a bad idea, Sashi. I had a super realistic dream once about the 1980s Transformers, but live action, and not like those shitty action Bay films. Soundwave, the tape recorder villain, ejected Ravage. Ravage is all the problems of a Black Panther and a Terminator mixed in one, and it was stalking me, and I was running. Very hard to deal with. Yeah, Chris P. That's from the movie Real Genius. That was Val Kilmer. Very good, Chris P. You were the first one to get it. I love that movie. That one's going to have to be a rewatch real soon, too. Real soon.
I have an idea. Wait a minute. With Netter. Hold on.
What?
Okay. You may have dreamed that you were running, and provided that you were keeping up with the others in your dream, this is quite positive. But you may be under more stress than is good for you. If you are falling behind rival competitors in the dream, or trying to win a race and failing, you should attempt to rearrange your schedule in waking life so that some of the pressure is relieved. You should treat this as a dream warning. You might like to think that where you were walking, jogging, or running to, what was the goal? What sort of landscape were you passing through? Okay, what was the dream weather like? Well, it was windy for you.
Yeah, it was windy.
Okay, yeah, but it didn't seem to affect anybody else around me, and I was a kid. So apparently, it was some challenges I was having as a kid.
Maybe. I don't know. So let's see here.
Before we go much further, how about another song?
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to have to mute you because otherwise you're going to
mute it.
Give me a second because I got to bring up.
Then we'll talk about one of my nightmares.
Okay, sounds good. Let me mute you. How do I do that?
I can mute myself.
Nope, I got you. Thanks. I'll bring you back in after the song. Let me bring up the song. Which one was I going to do?
Everly Brothers Dream?
Nope. It's going to be mostly Dean Martin, unless I get a $20 super chat. Then I'll do that one that I think that Sir Torrhen Clegane's going to really like.
You get my whole paycheck.
I know. Give me a second. That one's in my ear, so let me turn on the speakers. Okay, here we go. It's another Dean Martin tune off of the Sleep Warm album. Oh, I love that one.
Not a sponsored stream.
Not a sponsored stream. Actually, the cassette was out of print. Netter was able to find me a CD of it. I was so happy. Let's bring Boomer back in. How do I unmute you? There you go. Welcome.
Hello.
I hope I didn't drive anybody off with my singing.
It's fine.
Because Geek Flag says, Troy's about to sing, oh no, my nightmare has come true. Just kidding.
Geek Flag liked your singing. Look at that. I think those are clapping hands.
I used to, Curtis. I have been so busy for so long with so many streams and so much. Weekends are the only time I have for really anything. So I've really struggled to get on the karaoke on Saturday nights, but I would love to come back sometime soon.
Okay. This was
Falling?
one. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
very common dream.
My particular falling one is I'm walking down, because I grew up in a more city area when I was younger, and we have these things called grates on the pavement, right? Sometimes
yes.
Grates for the sewer. And
sure.
I stepped on one of the grates, and it fell, and I went right through the hole, and I was in the darkness, and I kept falling, and kept falling, and kept falling, and then I woke up.
I have always just like a nervous tick. Whenever I'd see those grates in the city, I always avoided them. I'd walk around them. I think
after the dream, I
never
stopped
step on them.
I think after the dream, I stopped doing that.
But I have had falling dreams, and tell me if anyone else has had this. You're falling, and just as you think you're hitting the ground, you wake up with a jerk, like you just landed in your bed.
Interesting.
I've had that many times.
I might have had one like that, yeah.
I had that once, I think, in the past 30 years. Woke up Netter doing that. And she's like, what happened? Are you okay? Yeah, I had a bad dream. It wasn't really a bad dream, but it's the easiest way to explain it.
What does it symbolize?
Don't know.
Fear of falling?
Probably.
I had one dream.
Oh, you know what? Let me push this so that they can hear you.
Oh, you want people to hear me now?
Yes, I do. I should have done that earlier. I forgot after my song to,
It was never over here.
I know. After my first song, I forgot.
I had a dream where I was on like a pirate ship, and I was being chased by pirates. And one of them was trying to kill me. So he was trying to stab me, and he had the typical hook hand that you see on pirates. And at one point, he raised his hand and he was bringing it down to hit me. And I turned my back and kind of like cringed, like how you kind of go into yourself a little bit, expecting that blow. But the blow never happened. Right behind me appeared a wall, a wooden wall that protected me from the blow. And I turned around and looked at it like, where did that come from? And then I woke up. So it was like, huh?
So we mentioned lucid dreams earlier. And since Enigma Severus, and by the way, welcome, Enigma. Did you send him that picture, by the way?
I did. Enigma, please check your email. I sent you a picture that Troy created that I want to use for the thumbnail for your Thursday Things appearance. Respond and let me know what you think.
Yeah, it was just, looking at your brand, I just thought it was a good idea. If you don't like it, I won't use it. It was, anyway, that's a side thing. But lucid dreaming, we've talked about this there's been a conversation back and forth about it. Lucid dreaming is when you recognize, within the dream, you realize you're dreaming. You realize that these are unrealistic circumstances and you're dreaming. So you are able to take control of it. That's really the only trick to being able to lucid dream, is being able to recognize that you are dreaming, that something is strange, you're probably dreaming. So obviously the best way is to just decide to do something that you couldn't ordinarily do, like fly or create an object that isn't currently available or whatever, something dreamy. And if you're able to do that, you're dreaming. And then you could just become Neo, right? You can rewrite the program.
Like fly in the air like Superman, that sort of thing?
Exactly. I mean, of course, you can still have a flying dream without lucid dreaming. It's just you are not directly in control of deciding to do that.
Have you ever lucid dreamed before?
I have. I absolutely have, many times. Usually, it's how I deal with nightmares. When I realize that I'm having a nightmare, I take control of it and usually turn it to something a little bit more blah, you know. But I have also had lucid dreams. This is a very common one for my 50-whatever-year-old self, where I dream that I can't find a bathroom. I need to go pee, but I can't find a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Or you could find a bathroom, but it's like...
But there's like people around and, you know...
it's like in the middle of an open room, or...
The door won't close.
Or the toilet is completely filled up with water and you don't want to sit on it.
Yes, exactly. Most of the time, though, I've come to realize within the dream, whenever that happens, it's like, I'm having that friggin' dream again. And I know why I'm having that dream. It's because in real life, I have to pee.
Yep.
But I don't want to wake up to go pee. Yeah, old people problems. Just saying. I used to lucid dream when I was young. I haven't had one in almost 30 years. The last couple of months, I had a few. Don't know why it is coming back. Just for whatever reason, you're recognizing that you're dreaming more. Had a nightmare that Lucasfilm was being helmed by Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, wait. That's real. Good on you, Sashi. Thank you. That's brilliant. Guess who I saw at the very tail end of the stream I did before coming here? Enigma Severus. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. That's fine. In my falling dream, I'm never falling down. It's like something is wrong with the Earth's gravity, and I'm falling across the sky, and it's getting closer to the ground. And I'm getting closer to the ground. I wake up before I hit. Okay, so it's like a GTA thing where gravity is pulling you sideways or whatever. It was at the very end of my stream. I didn't want to deal with it, so okay, I'm sorry. You guys are again talking about the real world. We're talking about dreams, for crying out loud. So I mentioned previously the Aborigines of Australia, who have a belief that the dreaming is a place that you go to when you sleep. It is as real a place as when you're awake. So like the old story of the the butterfly that dreamed it was a human, or was it a human that dreamed it was a butterfly, right? They're both completely real. This was, I believe, the inspiration that H.P. Lovecraft had for his dream cycle stories.
Wow.
This idea of somebody who's a miserable, homeless, beggar in real life, but in his dreams he's a king. The king. Really? Yeah, exactly. Very, very interesting concept. I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole because we'll probably end up talking more about that on Tuesday nights live from Sparkwood and 21 as we watch get caught up on and analyze, do a deep dive on Twin Peaks, talking about this whole concept of the reality or lack thereof of dreams and so forth, and kind of being in the real world and in the dream world alternately. Oh. But to Keely Chow, welcome. Saying hi to everybody. What's going on? We are talking about dreams. We are talking about what they mean, the different kinds of dreams that are very common, and so forth. If you have any dreams you'd like to share, go ahead.
So this is one I had. I was a kid. We used to have this green van that my parents had, and sometimes the kids would stay in the back when we were going on family trips, right? Well, I'm in my dream. It's night, and we're in the van, like on vacation driving, and so I wake up, and then I go up to the front seat to say hi to my mom or dad, and no one's in the front, and the car is driving itself. And then I wake up. Driverless car. What does that mean?
What do you think it means?
means I fear of not being controlled because I don't know how to drive. I don't know.
Is that true? You don't know how to drive?
No, when I was a kid, I didn't know how to
drive. I
when I was
see,
a child, like 5 or 6 or whatever, however old I was, when I had this dream.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. I had the opposite.
Yeah.
I used to dream that I was driving because in the real world I would watch my parents drive and I'd be like, I could do that.
I think I was trying to figure out, I guess I got to take this thing over, but I didn't know what to do, and that's when I woke up, so, okay.
Yep.
All right.
There you go. Oh, gosh, so many dreams about school, right?
There we go.
To this day, I still have dreams about university and, like, midterms and finals that I didn't study for.
Yep.
Homework and projects that I didn't do.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of that.
This one recurs to me when I'm not in school. Oddly enough, when I am in school, this does not happen. This is what I call the final exam dream. This is you've signed up for 4 or 5 classes. Maybe it's 4 or 4. Maybe it's 4 classes you sign up for that semester, and you've done well in 3 of them. You're caught up. You're doing well, except for that 4th class, which you stopped going to like the 2nd week, and you just brushed it off.
Yes.
And you haven't even been in the class since the beginning of the semester, and now you're trying to sneak in.
And you're like, oh crap! I didn't do anything for this class.
And you're sneaking in like the last day of class or like the day before the final exam, and you're hoping the teacher didn't realize that you were missing all this time, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do this final exam. One of these dreams, I kid you not, I was trying to cheat off of one of the other students in the class because I was not stressed about doing it. Apparently, examinations, they came up in this other book I have, which is the 1001 Dreams Complete Book of Dream Interpretations by Cassandra Eason. Examinations. Nathan, 50, had a recurring dream that he was back in school taking an examination in a huge hall filled with other students. He had not prepared for the examination. Everyone else was writing, but the questions swam in front of his eyes. Nathan's mind went blank. He woke in a total panic, running from the examination hall, pursued by the examiner, a former critical teacher, shouting that Nathan had failed as always. Yikes! Interpretations. Okay, dream backgrounds and meanings. Nathan's workplace was being taken over, and because of his age, he was afraid he would be let go. Nathan was due to be interviewed with the new CEO, who was rumored to want major changes to personnel. Examination dreams may reoccur at times when our expertise or performance is called into question because examination pressure is imprinted on our minds from an early age. I know I read one interpretation of the final exam dream. It's repressed guilt from those classes you had where you should have tried harder and you didn't, and the grade reflected it. And now it's like a repressed guilt thing. Now, all these years later, I've heard that. Of course, there's always the school dream of you showing up in your underwear. I've never had that one, though. I don't know if you have.
I have had, yes, I have, my dream has been showing up places naked.
Yep.
The worst part about that is nobody frickin' notices.
What?
Don't know what the hell that means. It's like, hey, he's naked. Nobody cares.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I guess that's better. Maybe it's like you're worried about something and your mind is telling you you're worried about something you shouldn't be worried about. Maybe that's what that is.
So you're totally transparent?
Maybe.
Possibly. The first lucid dream I had in 30 years, I was in prison. We decided to escape and rebel, and a woman helped us, and we fell in love. Well, that's always a good dream. Mark is talking about about Klingon lore. Kalas, I have returned. Kapla. Tim Hayes, film about dreams, The Night Walker. I didn't know that one. I'll have to look into that one, my friend. That might be a watch party for another night. Let's see. Chris P. Dreaming of being in school is the most common dream nightmare I have. Final exams and or overdue homework. Look, this is clearly because this is something we all stress about, and this far into it, there's no reason I would have this dream. I no longer give a crap about school. However, there is a confounding factor. I did not finish my degree in college. I got married to a woman who had 2 children. I had to quit going to university and get a job, pay off my student loans and take care of a family. And so there is this nagging thing in the back of my mind that I'm still registered. And there's classes happening that I haven't done anything for,
Well, I've had things where where I'm worried I'm not going to graduate or didn't screw it up, and then I realize I have graduated. So you run into those as well. Sometimes it's high school dreams too. I used to have those before college, where I was still stuck in high school and screwing up, and it was this thing.
Okay, since Sir Torrhen is still here, one of the songs that I had prepared to sing is a version of "The Impossible Dream" by what's his name? Jack Jones. Love to do it for you, but I am not certain of my ability. So it's going to require.
Toasty now.
Well, it's not just that. It's a hard song to sing. So I will give it an attempt if I can get one or more people together to put together a $20 contribution to the channel. Because that would be rough. But I do feel like Sir Torrhen would appreciate it because his Broadway sensibilities.
Jesse Guajardo said he had a dream about zombies chasing him in high school.
I've had some zombie nightmares.
Me too. The zombie apocalypse.
But they've never, unfortunately. I always, fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at them, they never rise to the level of nightmare.
Yeah.
Because they're all like slow-moving zombies. So literally, I have no problem just going around, doming them and surviving. And, it's almost fun. It's almost like playing a first-person shooter type game.
I think with me, it's more like I'm looking for supplies and stuff and rather than dealing with them, but I know that they're in the area because it's a thing. Yeah.
When I was sleep apnea. Oh, that brings up a whole other area of dreams. When I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, I found I very rarely had dreams before I started on the CPAP. I found out just how important REM sleep is. Yeah, if you're not entering REM sleep, and that's what usually happens when you enter REM sleep, you are at your most relaxed. And that's when you, if you have sleep apnea, that's when your breathing stops and you wake up. So you never get good restful sleep because you never get to experience REM sleep. That's a huge problem. That leads to heart problems and all sorts of things. Netter and I both sleep with a CPAP. And just in case you didn't know, you don't have to be a heavy guy like myself to suffer with sleep apnea. Netter's a tiny little thing, and she gets sleep apnea. Basically, anyone who snores is very likely to suffer from sleep apnea. So,
and I don't think I started snoring until much, much later in life. Like, when I got a little bit older. I know it's been since we've been in this house.
That could be part of it too. But there's a whole number of things that causes you to have breathing issues that a CPAP would help with. So if you're the type that has trouble sleeping, especially if you're heavy, but doesn't even need to be, you've been told that you snore incessantly, if you wake up a lot of times during the night, if you're not getting good sleep, talk to your doctor, get a sleep study done. They will very likely recommend you try a CPAP machine, which is, you wear this thing over your nose that blows air in. It takes a little getting used to, but trust me, it is so worth it.
Actually, it's like Trey had worn one for years and didn't really have any issue with it. When I got mine, because I'd never had this before, the first night it was just a little weird because I had something on my face I wasn't used to. But after that, it's like I didn't really notice it. it's just a matter of putting the thing on every night and then you go to sleep. For myself, Troy and I both have the one that goes over our nose right now. But for me, apparently I'm a mouth breather at night. So tomorrow we're going to our sleep supply place, and they're going to fit me with one that goes over my nose and my mouth so that I'm actually getting good sleep, because I'll wake up after like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. My throat is bone dry, my mouth is bone dry, and I'm waking up because I'm choking because there's no moisture there. So we need to change out my mask at least so that I can actually sleep through the night.
Mark is sharing. I went for a sleep test at Troy's urging after I fell asleep while driving. Thanks, Troy. Yeah, I had a similar situation where I had fallen asleep at the wheel. I was stopped at a light, but in falling asleep at that light, my foot slipped off the brake and I bumped into the car in front of me.
Literally, a slight tap.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. The person freaked out, but there was no damage. But that was, excuse the pun, but it was a real wake-up call. That's when I went and got tested. And,
yeah, it's like, besides that, it's like he would do things like he'd be sitting down and he would be moving his hands back and forth. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? I'm playing the piano. Honey, we don't have a piano. And then he'd kind of like jerk and wake up and go, what?
Yeah.
The funniest one, though, is when he had one hand in front of him. The other one was going back and forth like he was like reading a book. And I was like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm reading my Bible. And then he started putting his hand forward like he was trying to give something. I'm like, now what are you doing? He goes, I'm paying my tithe. And I'm like, honey, we're at home, we're not at church. And he jerked, woke up and went, like, what happened? What's going on? Yeah.
What's that one?
Then there was a dream involving Steven Seagal and David Carradine. And David Carradine swung in on a rope shooting an Uzi. I want to repeat. David Carradine swung in on a rope.
Oh, boy. By the way, it did mention here that the guy couldn't read the questions. Have you found that you can't read in dreams?
I can.
I don't remember ever having tried.
I have had dreams where I can't and dreams that I can, and I have a theory. I think if it's a dream where I know what's supposed to be written, I'll be able to read it.
Yeah.
If it's something I've never read before, like I remember one time the teacher called me up to class, and he was he's like, here's your final grade. And I'm looking down at the final grade, and every time I kept trying to look at the numbers would blur, and they would blur, and they kept blurring until I went blind in the dream, and then I woke up.
So let's talk about another aspect of dreaming that you're kind of getting at here, and it's this concept of dream logic, right? How things that narratively would ordinarily not make any friggin' sense, can happen. Like you're, I don't know, you are in school and then suddenly you're at work and then suddenly you're at home and things just change around you. That's, sleep logic.
Yes.
But, and I think most people have kind of a concept of that. What's odd, maybe not so much, I guess it kind of makes sense from a dream aspect. But within the dream, even though that's incredibly strange, you don't think much of it in the dream. It's like, okay, this is just the way it is, just whatever. That's dream logic, But yeah, those, however, are the times. If you want a lucid dream, those are the times to, kind of pay attention and go, wait a minute, wasn't I just at work? Am I dreaming? If you can do that, you can have the flying dream, you can have the whatever dream. So we've been very much skirting around the kind of dreams most people would want to have.
Yeah, the ones I never have. Anyway, I did.
I did once.
Oh, good
once.
for you. Okay. I did meet.
Kind of wish I could more often.
When I was a younger man, I did meet Alyssa Milano in a dream, but she was annoyed by me. That's all I remember.
See,
I don't meet that.
That was probably a more realistic dream than you realize.
Probably.
Alyssa Milano, right? Am I right?
But I'm just saying, I don't typically meet celebrities in dreams. It's rare, but that was one where she showed up. Their dream was dancing around the song.
Come and get your love. Was this after you saw Guardians of the Galaxy?
So, would you like to see my most terrifying dream?
2 Batgirls, best dream ever. Okay, there you go. Was one of them the Asian Batgirl? Don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Oh wait, Scott Hughes.
Scott Hughes is here. Ever try to fight in a dream? Your arms feel like rubber bands, and if you actually make contact, it's like you're hitting them with a feather. That might mean something to you, Scott Hughes, because I have had dreams that I've been fighting, and I'm a pretty damn good fighter in my dreams. I've beaten the crap out of... See, this is why you asked about, like, Jason and you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm a fight-or-flight kind of guy, and if I run, I'm pretty good at evasion, and if I fight, I F them up in my dreams.
Like I said, I did meet the Sawyer, like a Sawyer type family in a dream once. So yeah.
As I said, the wife made me a few weeks ago wake up. Dreamus interruptus. I'm not revealing any details. She asked me where I was. I pled the fifth. That's no fair. What you do in your dreams is your own territory. That should be allowed. I was actually. We were skydiving and my chute didn't open. Her and Barbara didn't save me. Those bitches. Screw them.
Would you like to see my final nightmare?
Yes. Show me your final nightmare.
I'm going to talk about. All right. There we are.
Medusa?
Okay.
Or something like Medusa?
All right. So when I was a child, there was some movie on TV with this woman, glowing green woman, attacking and killing people or something.
Okay.
Again, I'm also thinking like Clash of the Titans. I'd seen that as a child, the Medusa and that, but I also saw this thing in a television movie. Anyway, this was my dream, though, where this woman appeared. I am on a kind of a dark plane with lights, sort of like the Pac-Man maze thing.
Sure.
Like how that would look. There are teepees all around, okay, like the kind the Indians have, right? The teepees, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm in a teepee, and outside on the field is this green ghost woman, and she's coming after people, and I have to stay in the teepee to hide. My mother is in there with me, and she says, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to go and, you know, deal with what's out there. You have to leave. You can't stay here." And I think I was going to be forced out of the teepee and into maybe suffer victim of this horrible creature out there, or ghost, or whatever it was. Now, I did do research on what this dream meant.
Okay.
It's not an anti-mother dream. That's what some people would come up with, like, oh, your mom is betraying you or something. No, this is what it is. When you're a child, you have no authority, you have no power. You are powerless as a child. You have to rely on adults to protect you. And the fear, the deep-seated fear of children is that an adult, like, you know, it could be a parent or a teacher or maybe a local police officer or something, when the chips are down, they won't protect you and will actually put you in harm's way. And that's a deep-seated fear for children. There you go, that you can't rely on those in authority, those with power to protect you or to do the right thing. Yes. So there we go.
Mark Melnikoff is bringing up Freddy Krueger. 1, 2, Freddy's after you. 3, 4, better lock your doors. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again.
Did you used to watch all those Freddy Krueger movies?
Got them all on DVD.
You remember part 2 when he shows up at that party and he says, You're all my children now.
Yeah.
Remember that? That would freak me out, man, as a kid.
Remember the first one had Johnny Depp in it. Johnny Depp getting pulled into the bed.
And then blood shot up from the bed onto the ceiling. Right? Yes, I remember that. That was gruesome. And then
Ernest Borgnine helped me defeat all of my enemies by telling me graphic details about his sex life. Wow, Sir Torrhen, that is a dream, all right.
Wasn't there one Nightmare on Elm Street movie where the kid was a D&D aficionado? And
that was 3, The Dream Warrior.
And he was a wizard in the. He was a wizard. He could actually do magic in the dream. I remember that because he was a wizard character in his D&D games, I guess. Yeah.
Trey had a fighting dream where I was flying an F-14 Tomcat. Oh, fighting a dragon. That's pretty damn awesome. Just kidding, incoming. I have lost all will to live after hearing about the dreams for Torrhen. That's the dreams for Torrhen. There you go. Race's Lois Lane might be the funniest dream I ever had. Well, let me tell you something. There's some like 60s and 70s Superman comics that are not very culturally appropriate these days.
You know, I just realized if Captain Kirk had shown up in my dream, he would have taken care of the Green Woman.
Oh, there you go.
Because he liked the Green Woman, right? No, I'm sorry. Never mind. It's not that funny. Okay. Anyway,
Nightmare Part 2. I don't consider it part of the continuity.
It's not good. That's the part you don't consider part of the continuity. That was the first one I ever saw, though. Oddly enough, I remember I was at a Halloween party and. The host of the party wanted his mom to rent a couple horror movies, and she brings home E.T. and he gets very angry, but then she also brought home Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and I think we were watching this scene where like the one girl is being toyed with by a long tongue or something, or maybe she had a long tongue. Yeah, I don't remember.
No, she's on the phone, and then out of the phone comes this tongue, and I saw some when we hit the VHS era. Halloween parties were, let me tell you. So Poltergeist was one, and I'd already seen it in the theaters, so I just left the room when the whole face ripping thing.
Yeah,
They purposely rewound it to play it again when I came back in. I'm like, fuck you guys. The other one was I went to a Halloween party where they had the movie I Spit on Your Grave.
Ooh, that's a harsh one. Oh,
that is harsh. And let me tell you something. That's not scary to me in the traditional sense.
No.
But that is scary in the holy fuck every guy's legs crossed kind of way. Let me tell you.
Directed I Spit on Your Grave.
But in a way, the reason it's not a horror movie is because it's one of those everybody that died kind of deserved it, you know?
Spit on Your Grave. Who directed that movie? I keep confusing that with the other one, which was Last House on the Left. That was another one. The Last House on the Left was a Wes Craven. Okay, yeah. Amir Zarki, I don't know who that is, but I remember that came out. I remember Wes Craven, though. He did a movie called Last House on the Left. That was another one that people compare to I Spit on Your Grave. And
Scott Hughes, yeah, absolutely. Miss legit Halloween parties. Let me tell you, man, I get you.
We should maybe have a stream on Halloween parties, maybe around...
well, obviously more like in October.
Yeah, October, time.
Wow, deleted scenes. Good on you.
Yeah, he knows that.
He knows this shit like right off the top of his head. He's like a savant when it comes to movies. Even the remake of I Spit on Your Grave was good. Don't know if good is the right word, but you get my drift.
Seen it.
I did not know there was a remake. I'll have to check that out. I just remember all the guys at the party were like fired up because it was like there'd be nudity in it, and I'm like, this is not sexy. This is not
the kind of
fun.
nudity you want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And then obviously the ramifications of what happens. It's like, Holy F. And there's part of me that's going, good on you, girl. You get these bastards. The other side is like, oh my God.
Yeah, she takes care of some guy in the bathtub. I remember.
Yep.
That.
I remember that.
That's a bad way to go.
Here's the other thing. My mother was at that party.
Holy cow.
And she was like, oh God, seriously, what the fuck? Who decided this was a good movie to watch? And honestly, this was a conversation I had with my mom on the way home. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I made it through Poltergeist. I'm okay.
Oh my goodness. I remember.
She took me to Poltergeist, so she was like, okay, yeah, that's on me.
Poltergeist was PG.
Well, I know, but PG back then was before there was a PG-13.
PG back then was like a hard R now. No, I'm sorry. It's like,
That's interesting, Scott. I did not know that. I may have to look into that. Same premise, different death scenes. But yeah, 2010, that would have completely flown under my radar. I wasn't paying attention.
I should rewatch that.
Did you even have the aliens? Did you even have the aliens dream where you are trying your best not to have a run-in with a face hugger? Never had that because, damn it, if I had had the aliens dream, I would have been all over Ripley. You know, before you freeze yourself. Look, she's in her friggin' underwear. It's like, damn. Prepubescent Troy was like all over that movie. And then it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
What other women were in Aliens? You had the Winona Ryder android in Resurrection.
Was she an android?
Yeah, it was revealed.
I saw that movie once. Never watched it again.
Because it wasn't good. That's why he never watched it.
No, it wasn't. Although I do like Winona Ryder.
It was still better than 3. 3 was terrible. I was on Birdman stream watching 3, and we were watching the newer cut of it. Like,
yes.
And then like, no, it's not better because it's actually longer and it's just more of the same crap.
Right.
No, that was my birthday movie the year that came out because like my dad would take me and my friends out to see movies. I want to see Alien 3. It's like, oh god, this is not good.
I have all of the Alien movies and all of the Predator movies.
Yeah. Oh no. Don't tell me
yes.
you have Alien versus Predator?
Yes.
Oh no.
Both.
I've heard things about the sequel.
The first one was good. The second one, not so much.
No,
but you know me, I'm a completist.
Heard there's a hospital scene in the sequel.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. You know what? No offense, 20th Century Fox really did not take care of that franchise.
No.
It'd
be interesting to see what these new ones, because the new director is like, he's taking it back to brass tacks, wants to,
we'll see,
make it, and it's like, well, yeah, exactly, we'll see.
I've liked the 2 movies I've seen by him, so we'll see. I did like the Evil Dead remake. I know some people didn't, but I did.
And while I get that we've kind of gotten off track, these are all the things that fuel our nightmares, right?
Yes.
Talking about face huggers and in your dreams and stuff. It's like, I dig it.
Yes, Torrhen, you got to get them X-Men movies. They're good. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I feel like I have to watch the Logan now before I watch that.
You probably do.
That new one, the Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Plan on buying the X-Men movies.
I treat Logan as what's the word? Apocrypha. Like,
well, they've said outright that it was like non-canon to the rest of the
it's
X-Men
a what
stuff.
if.
However, my understanding is that this new Deadpool Wolverine movie treats it as though it absolutely did.
Well, it could be if it's a multiverse thing, and that was.
Well, it is, but also they're basically saying, look, the 20th Century Fox universe is over anyway. Let's just cap it off with this, and we'll deal with that storyline, and it's interesting. Yeah, so I do want to see. Obviously, I want to see. Well, I think I actually have it on my Amazon list to buy.
I want to spoil one aspect of it for you, which I found a little heartbreaking in it. Logan is having to take care of Professor X in his old age, right?
Yeah, I've heard the whole story of Logan.
But
so
Professor X is dealing with like a dementia problem,
yes.
right? But the trouble is that makes it hard for him to control his psychic powers. Do you understand? So it's like,
Yes.
how would that affect a mutant that had the psychic powers? And it's like, that's like the worst thing for him to have gotten.
I will go even further. Still, not having seen it, so this isn't really a spoiler for me. I did see a like fan theory type video that sounds very plausible. The fact that Wolverine is losing his regenerative ability and Professor X is losing his ability to control his whammy, right? And apparently part of the story is that, you know, no mutants have been born in however many years, and, you know, those that do are losing their abilities or whatever. There's a belief that I guess it has something to do with corn processing or something, that the food that is being served to people
would diffuse the gene. Yes,
it's destroying the X gene, which is preventing new mutants from being born, suppressing the abilities of existing mutants, which is what is killing Logan. Makes perfect sense, actually.
Anyway, if you end up watching it, but let me see. To be depressed, X-Men.
No, actually, Scott, I've heard a lot of people don't care for Logan.
It's okay, but as I've said before, I do treat it as like a what if. I don't treat it as
okay. So
his ending. Yeah.
Good point. He's saying I don't go to a superhero movie to be depressed. X-Men plus Green Mile equals Logan. Of course, Logan being a Stephen King drama. He's not really. Yeah, I don't know
what I'll say about Logan, though, as opposed to other things that make me depressed in other franchises. At least Logan is still acting like Logan in the movie. It's not like they. There
you go, Scott. See, you and Potawatomi are simpatico. I'm only going to watch the damn thing because it directly. It seems to directly precede or is necessary to get all the references in Deadpool.
I still need to watch the director's cut of the Wolverine. You remember the Wolverine? That was the one that took place in Japan?
The food in the government plan to get rid of mutants is from the comics. Well, that certainly lends more credence to that, theory then.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you don't need to, but, I feel like I probably should.
Look, I kind of feel Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2, and Deadpool 3 are probably all four movies in kind of like the same series, whereas they're kind of separate from the other X-Men movies. Yeah. But everyone loves. I know it hit. Some people loved it, some people hated it. It's fine. You're allowed to like things and not like things. Just how I'm sure some people are liking and not liking a certain Batman show. Anyway, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, that's
That'll be
for
a
another
topic
night.
for another night if we do talk about it.
Sounds
anyway,
like you really want to talk about it, though. So
we don't have
like
to because I don't want to force you to watch something.
Keep saying that, but he wants to, and I
do and I don't, and I can't. No, you don't owe me nothing, and I'm just saying we may get there, but I'm probably going to be going soon though. But,
I was kind of thinking we probably
anything
should
left
wrap
to
it
say
up.
about dreams though?
No, I think we covered a lot of the different kinds of dreams. I think we've done some dream analysis. We've definitely wandered a little bit into the esoteric. I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So tomorrow night we're over on. Well, guys, if there's something coming up tomorrow afternoon or early evening, let me know that I don't know about. But Netter, what's the movie tomorrow night?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
It's a great anniversary movie.
It's a great anniversary movie. Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is a fun movie. It's what we're watching, and you can come share in our 32nd anniversary. Well, no, wait a minute. It's going to be our 33rd anniversary.
32nd.
Okay, I'm off by a year. There we go.
Okay.
It's going to be our anniversary. Screw it. Just come celebrate with us. Don't ask me to do math. I've had a couple martinis. I can't do maths now.
I'm going to do the math for you. Okay, so.
Here we go.
It is 2024. We were married in 1992. 32 years.
Okay, there you go. So tomorrow night, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Steve Martin, and was that Michael Caine? No.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine. There we go. So I haven't seen it in years, so I'll be looking forward to that. Tomorrow night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network. Sunday, all the things on Deleted Scenes channel. Western Cinema Presents, Unscripted. Make sure you're subscribed to Deleted Scenes because he's got a metric fuck ton of content. Go check it out. But that brings us up to 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern on this guy's channel. What are we going to be talking about on Geeky Geezers?
We are going to be talking about latest in the entertainment news. We are going to be talking about layoffs.
The economy ain't doing so well, people.
And something to
be sure to vote for 4 more years of this bullshit.
And then something to do with Ryan Reynolds versus Jamie Lee Curtis over Marvel.
I love that one. That's going to be fun. That's actually going to be fun to talk about, I think.
We had a lot of stories. We had to cut some. But there will be a good old day, so I know I skipped it last week. We'll do one on Sunday.
There we go. There we go. There we go. So, oh, geez. Really? Did you go around to all the simulcasts and hit the thumbs up? You are good people, Potawatomi. Thank you so much. And then, of course, we'll top off the night and the weekend with The Other Side of Midnight over on Deleted Scenes channel. The Saturday matinee is the Impress File?
Ipcris File. Ipcris File.
There you go.
Ipcris File. Oh, that's a classic with Michael Caine. Yes.
There you go. Oh, a lot of Michael Caine this weekend, guys. Yes, there you go.
The first of the Harry Palmer trilogy. I love $1 Billion Brain, part 3 of that trilogy.
There you go.
$1 Billion Brain. I'll talk about that on a stream sometime.
Monday night at the movies, yes. I am doing a double feature. It will probably be dream related. One of them will probably be not exactly dream related, but dream adjacent. So keep an eye out for that. I haven't got the stream up yet. I haven't firmly determined the two films, but we'll check them out.
I'm pissed. I lost my soundtrack to the Ipcris File in the flood. That was I was lucky with CDs. I had some damage, but not.
Are you preparing for a possible another one this year?
I don't want. There's worry about this tropical storm. Let's hope nothing happens. Anyway, but the other thing is, it was the Ipcris File $1 Billion Brain double whammy CD soundtrack.
There you go.
And that one that was a hard one to find. Then I found someone that had it on eBay for actually a very reasonable price, and I picked it up. And then of course it gets lost in the flood.
Oh man!
But anyway, it's okay. I still have it on my iTunes. Right, so this is good until my iTunes dies. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
So Monday, that was Monday night. Tuesday night on Deleted Scenes channel. Mm-hmm. All of us here on the panel will be joining Deleted Scenes for Live from Sparkwood and 21, the next installment of Twin Peaks: The Return.
I love it.
Including the return of some fan favorite characters. So
I'm worried about Dougie, man. He was left there all night, I think. I don't know. It's like.
Yeah, well, he gets picked up. Don't worry.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
we had a nice exploding car in the last episode.
Ooh, yeah, his car got blowed up, and it's like you see that kid going to play with the bomb, and it's like, kid, no, don't die, kid. Speaking of which, the next episode on Tuesday is called "Don't Die," and it's a rough one. There's some stuff in there that's emotionally challenging.
So. I think I know the scene you're talking about.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Harry Dean Stanton is involved in that scene, and I think the episode is dedicated to him too.
Right.
So that's Tuesday. Thursday night, who are we going to be talking to on Thursday night? On Thursday Things with Netter on Netter's Network at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
It'll be Farvithian Guard.
Yep, another independent author that we'll be talking about him. We'll be talking about his book. We'll be talking about his YouTube channel. So looking forward to that on Thursday, 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netter's Network. Thursday, that brings us around to Friday. I haven't had a chance to think about...
No, we're going to do the next two of I thought it was Outer Range. We're going to do 2 more episodes with deleted scenes.
Oh, had we already planned on that?
I thought we had. If I'm wrong, correct me in the chat. Deleted scenes, but I thought
deleted scenes. Yeah. So it might very well be we're talking about Outer Range.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine. I need to know that.
Yeah.
And I will get that stream set up. Yeah. And that'll be next Friday, 9 Central.
I believe so, but you can double check with deleted scenes in case I'm wrong. Yeah.
And of course, I will be drinking, and it will be fun to watch me get drunk.
Yes, so I have to catch up on the next 2 episodes before that stream.
There you go.
I am done with Cobra Kai, though, so I can now catch up on that.
Yeah, well, fuck you. I haven't seen a single episode yet this season.
You'll get there.
I'm too busy.
The drama. I can't say anything.
Good? No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. All right. Any last thoughts? Any last words, Age of Boomer?
Nothing, except that I hope everybody has pleasant dreams, and if you want to try lucid dreaming, make sure it's not in a zombie apocalypse.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
That was freaking me out, man. Now I'm going to have a nightmare about that, whatever that is. Right.
Netter, any last words, any last thoughts, and then take us out?
I could take you up, but my gun's not loaded.
That's what every time I go out of the house and come back, she goes, "Oh, I missed you," and I'm like, "Well, that's okay. We'll take you to the range so you can practice your aim."
Yeah. I just want to remind everyone to make sure that you are sub to every member of the panel as well as every member of the chat. And if you think you're sub, go back and double check that you're still sub because YouTube.
Yeah.
And with that said, we can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. Excuse me.
Yep.
I got hiccups. And I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm going to start over.
Yes.
Take 2.
You know what I always say.
You know what I always say.
She hasn't been drinking tonight either. That's just...
We can talk about
tired.
ourselves. We can
it's
talk
tired, and I got the hiccups, and that threw me off.
There you go.
Anyway, we can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat, and you're dropping comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. And I'm not just saying that to say it. I mean it. I don't say things I don't mean.
That's right. She doesn't.
You know, I just love seeing you guys in all of our streams. I love the way that you guys welcome newcomers. You guys are just totally Osmo. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our family. And until next time, good night and God bless. But I want to ask Trey something, because I don't remember from earlier because it's been a long stream. Curtis Selby had given a $10 super chat. Did you thank him?
I did right at the top of the stream.
And did you congratulate Lester San Jose for being a member for 1 month?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Just wanted to double check.
Thank you to all of my channel members. I super appreciate it. With a stream like tonight where this stream is not monetized, you guys are the ones keeping the lights on here. I super appreciate it. In fact, I think because of that, I really ought to take it out with one more song. So, panel, stay with me, but I'm going to take you out just so that there's no echoing going on. And I am going to move to the speakers so that I can bring this in. And here we go.
Hit it, sweetheart.